What's going on, guys? Sandman. Just wanted to give you guys a quick view of my build. All right, there it is, guys. All right, all bullshit aside, I'm gonna give you guys a quick view of my build. I'm gonna start it like I did with Joe, like Joe did. I'm gonna start with my weapons. All right, so this is my fucking around fist weapon for the most part. 40% faster swing speed, anti-armor. That's the big stats there. This is my my main two-handed. Is my anti-armor super sledge, 40% faster swing speed. All right, anti-armor obviously and 90% reduced weight. This I actually picked up. This I just found. We don't have to worry about that. This is my secondary two-hand, and it's nothing special at all. All it is a mutant's fire axe, just an additional 10%. And the only reason I use this for the most part is to fight like ghouls and whitesprings and fight like other enemies, so that I don't wear out the condition on my anti-armor super sledge. I use that super sledge only if I have to put, you know, boot to ass for the most part on other players. I keep a couple orbital strike beacons. Joe normally does also. I don't use them often, if anything, but this I just found. This I just got not too long ago. Suppresses all-star baseball bat. I like the bats. They just don't do enough damage. But that's not like used in PvP or anything. And I just found this one as well. And I may actually have to do something with this and maybe use this whenever I call nukes or something. All right. But that's pretty much. Oh yeah, the anti-armor gamma gun. Modified so that it does additional radiation damage, just like Joe. We both have the 125 radiation damage and the anti-armor. These things pretty much shred, especially bloodied builds. So you know, and it's really good against Sentinel and Cav players because it actually just cuts through the armor for the most part. Ignores, you know, not a lot of people have high radiation defense unless you're in power armor. So this is when this is useless. You find someone in power armor, you don't use this. You guys have seen the Kobe, so this is the Kobe right here. Pretty much same thing as Joe. Anti-armor explosive combat shotgun. Yeah, like Joe said, you know, you can't stress that enough. This is very good for like mid-range to a little further out in range. This is kind of my go-to gun. I don't use a lot of rifles. I don't have rifles, as you can see on me. This Gauss rifle, I actually have to store this. Here we go. All right, so chest piece, and I'm gonna stress, me and Joe both run Sentinel's assassin pieces. We're pure builds. We have nothing but Sentinel assassin pieces, so you see all 5 are Sentinel's assassin. I had more time to scavenge my pieces back when they were a bit more, you know, like available. Back when a lot of people weren't looking for them. Now it feels like everybody's looking for them, so they're harder to find. But I had time to source them, which is why I ended up with like the set that I did end up with. So I have a combat armor, Sentinels, obviously, so the reduction in damage while standing and not moving, 15%. You figure you multiply that by 5. You know, and then you take the negative 8% damage from players, you multiply that by 5, and then, you know, that's a good reduction. It's not over 100% reduction, obviously, but it's a compounding math, so it's still really good. You know, so there's that. And then pretty much everything is. Oh, let me go back to the chest piece. The modification that I have on the chest piece is dense. What dense does, along with my my other cards, is reduction from explosive weapon damage from the explosive section of the damage by 95%. So it's a 95% damage reduction in explosive. it's a big step up for explosive resistance. If not dense, if you can't find dense for your chest piece, look for pneumatic. Pneumatic stops the stagger. It helps greatly with the stagger. So I don't know what the percentage is with the pneumatic. If the pneumatic is the same as the dense, then odds are if you have adamantium skeleton on 3, then you may have like a 95% reduction in stagger or something. I haven't tested it really, and because it's been a pain in the ass just finding the dense mod, and I don't know it. I don't want to put anything on here until I can, you know, find like another dense and a pneumatic, and then try them out. Maybe, you know, put the pneumatic on, see how it does. Put the dense on, see how it does. But because I haven't done that yet, that's staying out. All right, this is every piece for the most part. It's gonna be sentinels. It's gonna be ultra light, and the reason it's all ultra light for the most part is AP. Is for additional AP. So you see every piece is adding about 5 AP. That's to assist with me because half the time I'm going to be jumping a lot, so I'm going to burn through AP pretty quick, or I'm going to be, you know, in motion here and there. I want to have that AP available for VATS locking or for running or jumping, etc. I used to use a enclave, the what do they call that? The operators Under Armour or whatever the case may be. But I'm using the Brotherhood, and the reason why I'm doing that is the other one was strength and perception. It was strength 3, perception 2. This one is strength 2, but it's endurance 3. So a little more on the endurance side, especially since my endurance cards are kind of low. This is that's decent for me. I feel like that's a good move. All right, sunglasses. Food, drugs, berry mentats. Dude, I'm gonna comment whoever put me onto this. Shit. I hope I can find who it was that put me onto this. In my comment section, someone had wrote, "Dude, why don't you use berry mentats to highlight people, whatever the case may be?" And I was like, well, it's probably as broken as the fucking the targeting HUD in the power armor, you know, where the targeting HUD in the power armor doesn't really highlight anything. But I like this. This is I haven't used it heavily, but I use it like when it's nighttime and it's dark and it's hard to see people, especially people who don't use chameleon but sneak. Then I would use this because then it's efficient. It highlights them very well, and especially in the woods and shit like that, I use you know, like tree coverage to move around or whatever. And so this is actually pretty good. This berry mentats. So shout to whoever put me onto these. I know it was a little while back, but that it's been pretty good. So I'm gonna go through the cards. This is obviously not my junk. You guys know I don't farm. You know I don't fucking carry 665 pieces of steel scrap, but whatever. All right, I digress. So here we go. This is definitely not how it normally is, but I'm gonna show you how I would run in multiple scenarios. All right, so first thing is me like this, right? So I'm running solo, right? Joe's not on, whatever the case may be, then this is how I'm running. I'm running Barbarian, Iron Fist, Blocker 3, Incisor, and then Martial Artist 3, right? The swing speed, the ignoring armor on top of using anti-armor, the resistance towards melee for the most part, a bit of resistance towards melee. Iron Fist doing additional damage, especially with like gauntlets. So Iron Fist works for gauntlets, power fists, boxing gloves, knuckles, shit like that. So keep that in mind. It's not just not having any. It's not an unarmed thing technically. I mean, they're considered unarmed, which is stupid to me, but whatever. Barbarian for the additional damage resistance. You see my perception is very low compared to Joe. Joe uses a lot of rifle cards. I don't use any rifle cards. I have refractor for additional energy resistance. I have awareness. This is what some people are asking, like how do you see what someone's defense is? And what I would do is I would use, you know, like my shotgun, find, you know, like let's say just someone kind of just walking around or whatever the case may be, and then, you know, once I get an opportunity, VATS lock on him, and so right there I can see he has 62 physical defense, 100 energy resistance. So that lets me know when before I even get into a fight, if I VATS on someone, I say, hey, he's about 300 defense. I said this guy may have Sentinel Assassin pieces on, so let's you know what I mean, let's keep that in mind. Or if I VATS lock him, I see him at 150, 200-ish, then I'm like, this guy's probably gonna be cake. You know, but that's one thing that I use, and I don't think a lot of people actually use at all. But continue on back to the cards. Okay, so adamantium skeleton on 3. You need adamantium skeleton on 3 because the reduction in limb damage, although it's not stated in the card, the reduction in limb damage also stops a good portion of the stagger effect when you get hit with weapons. So and it also completely stops the ability of getting crippled from the shotgun perk from Enforcer, right? So which isn't even here, so I'm gonna put that on in a second, right? All right. So fireproof, 45% less damage from explosives and flame attacks, and then this coupled with the dense chest piece goes up to about 95%. So that's the dense chest piece is about 50%, and then this card is 45%. All right. I normally run Lone Wanderer if I'm running by myself. If I'm not running by myself and I'm running with Joe, I would use Strange in Numbers and Tenderizer on 3 like that, right? So additional damage, and then I would share this card out so that me and Joe both have that mutation effect, and we're a little stronger. When no one's on and it's just me, I run this for the reduction in damage and for the AP regen. Intelligence, all right, demo expert on 5. You want to do as much explosive damage as possible, especially if you're using explosive weapons like shotguns and handmaids and this and that. And I use batteries included. I honestly could put anything here. It doesn't have to be batteries included. It can be, it could be chemist. It could be, anything else. It could be first aid on 1 if I had it. It could be, anything that's an active card. Like I try to stay away from shit like this. Like I don't understand why people's builds have like, they'll have like 3 levels of hacker. And then, if you're building the PvP build, why? In no way, shape, or form during the middle of a fight do I have to get in anyone's terminal. So there's no point in me having this shit. I can always switch out to it if the situation calls for it, but that's if I'm doing PvP, which means I can change all these fucking cards up anyway. So don't run around with cards that are not a necessity for the most part. So you also don't see I run with pick lock. I don't have pick lock on either. Same thing applies. There's certain cards that are just like, oh, why do you run this if you're gonna do PvP? So for instance, Happy Camper, I wouldn't run Happy Camper. I wouldn't run obviously Hard Bargain. I mean, sometimes you get caught like changing cards back and forth, and then you're like, oh shit, I had fucking Hard Bargain on instead of Tenderizer or whatever the case may be. And I've been caught out there where I've had like armor cards on instead of my like, demo expert. But whatever. All right, so here. Evasive, this stacks with I know somebody had commented like, why don't you run evasive? I'm like, I do run evasive, but it's not all the time. It's kind of like situational. If I feel like I have to defend myself a lot more, then I'll run evasive just for the additional defense. But Born Survivor, just in case. Sometimes in the middle of a fight, I'm not always looking at my health bar. Sometimes I may like drop drastically, and at least this may save my ass at least like one time or whatever. This card you have to, unfortunately, at this point, because everybody now wants to do just VATS criticals and people can't aim, so they're relying on VATS criticals. So the biggest way to negate VATS criticals is to use Secret Agent on 3, to carry Stealth Boys, to pop Stealth Boys, and then to fight in stealth, which sucks. This shit sucks, but it's a necessary evil at this point that we unfortunately have to do. And I don't like it. I don't like using it, but it's a waste of my fucking caps, truth be told, because I have to always get Stealth Boys and always look for stuff. And I wish they would do something with the VATS criticals where someone can't tap you for 100 million and fully ignore whatever armor you have on. But it is what it is, so that's it. All right, Bloody Mess, 15% bonus damage, of course. Serendipity, you get below 30%, a 45% chance to avoid damage, and get below 20% stim pack, right? All right. Clash Freak and Stars Jeans, same thing Joe said. How do you guys play the game without this? I have no clue. Stars Jeans on 2, Clash Freak on 3. It's like a given. I know some people who just build just have only 5 points in luck, and it's just these. But that's a necessary evil for the most part. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Comment below if that, you know, pretty much answered everything for you guys. So yeah, I appreciate it. Keep an eye out. You know, we're still doing the giveaways and everything. So if you haven't subbed, sub now. And yeah, fucking enjoy it, man. Have fun PvP.